Chinese Grand Prix as Kimi Antonelli wins his first ever race in Formula One in his career. Congratulations to Kimi Antonelli. I mean, he deserves it. He absolutely deserves it. I mean, and it was a great performance for him. Yes, there was some nervy moments from his side. Lewis Hamilton once again, Ferrari and Lewis Hamilton once again, they had another fantastic start. Ferrari had another great start, and Mercedes had another poor start. And Lewis went ahead of two Mercedes, and he was first position. And Leclerc was also went ahead of Russell. And at some point it looked like it was Ferrari 1-2, but Kimi Antonelli managed to keep the second position at the end. And it was a great start for Ferrari, but once again Mercedes recovered, as it was like in the sprint and Melbourne. Mercedes recovered. Kimi Antonelli went past Lewis Hamilton, and then there was a bit of tussle, a bit of a great fight between. I mean, the fight between Leclerc and Hamilton was amazing to watch. I mean, I somehow they didn't collide. I have no idea why. For all of the fighting, I mean, it was back and forth, back and forth. Hamilton going the outside, Leclerc going on the outside, right, left, right, left. It was a brilliant, brilliant fight to see. And somehow they didn't collide. I have no idea why. It's incredible. But it was a great, great fight between two fantastic drivers. People say that, this is very risky, Ferrari should back one of their drivers. I don't agree, because first of all, Ferrari have invested a lot on Leclerc, and Leclerc, he's been at Ferrari for a long time. It's almost like Ferrari's golden boy. And Lewis Hamilton is a 7-time world champion. So how can Ferrari back one of them? It's impossible, because neither of them, for sure, with the quality of the drivers they have, they will accept being the number 2 driver. But it was a great fight to watch. Great fight to watch between these two fantastic drivers, two very good wheel-to-wheel drivers, and two very fair wheel-to-wheel drivers as well. Well trustful as well. They're not kind of drivers where, let's say, they're gonna run people off the track, let's say. So they're fantastic drivers. Russell behind the both Ferraris, it kind of cost him time. It kind of didn't help him if he wanted to challenge for the victory with Antonelli. It lost him time. But you have to give credit to Kimi Antonelli, because he performed really, really well. He was absolutely fantastic. He was really dominant. Yeah, obviously in the last couple of laps there was some moments where you think like, why is he pushing for the fastest lap? Why are you locking up? Just calm down. But he managed to bring it home, and he managed to get his first win in his Formula 1 career. And it was great to see the emotions. Great to see him, being very, very happy. Him crying after the race. It was really good to see. Really, really good to see. And obviously Kimi Antonelli is a very, very emotional person, even though he's a fantastic person. So to see him smiling, and to see him with joy and with tears of joy, I couldn't be more happier for him as a Formula 1 fan. I'm a neutral Formula 1 fan, but seeing him win and smiling and celebrating, and him having talking with Lewis and Toto. I mean, Toto Wolff in the team radio. If you didn't see, he was kind of being very smug here. He was kind of mocking people's what people were saying to Kimi Antonelli when Toto Wolff was the key reason why Kimi Antonelli replaced Lewis Hamilton. And people say, why you bring Kimi Antonelli? He's too young. He makes too many mistakes. He shouldn't be in a big team. He should be in a smaller team. He doesn't have experience. He makes too many mistakes. And here we go, race victory, Kimi. That was. You could tell that Toto Wolff, he was ready. He had that ready. He had that ready to say that to Kimi. It was kind of a Drive to Survive script, I have to say. But I mean, Toto is right, because there's been lots of criticism on Toto when he brought in Kimi Antonelli, and I was one of them, I have to say. I was one of them. I was like, why do you bring in a very inexperienced team driver? Why? Why do you do that? It should be like on loan for 1 or 2 seasons, and then you a bit like George Russell, Williams to Mercedes. But Toto saw that potential. He saw the potential that Kimi has. He saw the qualities that Kimi could bring in. He saw the the quality, the raw speed, the talent that he could bring if he brought him into Mercedes. So you could tell that Toto and Mercedes, they invested a lot in Kimi, and it's a long-term investment, as he said before, Toto, that even if and Toto knew that he would make mistakes. They would see up and downs. You would see moments of brilliance. You would see moments where you want to scratch your hair sometimes, and Toto knew that. But Toto, like, let's be honest, also is a person or a team principal that's kind of let's say like a father. He's not like some people where they're like a bit like Helmut Marko or Christian Horner, where if a driver doesn't perform for 2 races, that's it, you're done, finished. Whereas Toto, you look at what he said to Kimi after his crash in Ep3 in Australia. He was like, "No, keep that confidence. You can do it. Look, analyze the data and keep it going. We trust in you." And that should be like this. It should be like this. Even if a driver is struggling, even if a football player is struggling, a coach or a leader should, be there for him and support him in the good moments, and also especially in the bad moments. That's how it should be at a top, team principal is. And Toto is a top team principal. The ways he's managed him, the way he's managed Kimi, the way how he's helped Kimi in terms of, bringing as low as pressure. Don't put any pressure on him. You have to give him credit. And he saw that. He saw the potential. You can tell that also Toto didn't want to miss on Kimi, as he did with the Max Verstappen saga all those years ago. You can tell that he didn't want to miss on a potential talent. And you can tell there's a bit of relief from Toto's side and from Kimi's side. And he's like, "Yes, I got it right. Yes, look at me, I'm Toto." But Toto deserves credit. The way he's managed him, the way he's helped him a lot, you have to give him a lot of credit, for sure. And Kimi, he deserves credit. He showed great speed, great quality. He was quick all weekend. In the sprint, yeah, like I said, he made some mistakes. But in qualifying, he was fantastic, even though George had problems. And in the race, he was fantastic as well. Despite he had a difficult start, he managed to cope with it really well, bounce back, and then after that, he was dominant, very dominant, and he had a fantastic performance, and he deserved to win the race. Can he challenge for the title? Listen, he's in his second season in Formula 1, and Kimi Antonelli is a fantastic driver. He's a driver that has great raw speed, great qualities, great talent, but he also needs to cut his mistakes out if he wants to keep being consistent. And because winning the championship is not determined by one race; it's determined by the consistency you have over a season. So Kimi Antonelli for sure will win another, more than one race this season for sure. Is he good enough to, let's say, to be consistent and keep going like this for the whole season? I don't think so. He can do it, but I don't think so, because he doesn't have the experience, and sometimes he can make mistakes. So, and he's still in his early stages. Let's not forget, he's in his second season in Formula 1. So he's still in his early stages, whereas George Russell, he's a fantastic driver and he has much more experience. So yeah, but I think if Mercedes have this kind of big advantage as they continue to have for the rest of the season, as they've had in the first 2 races, then the only competition could be to George Russell is Kimi Antonelli. And I hope if Mercedes keep being dominant, I hope that Antonelli, is still up there with George Russell. So yeah, but brilliant performance from Kimi Antonelli for sure. That win will help him a lot, and give him a lot of confidence for the future. But for George Russell, he finished second. I mean, not a bad result considering some of the problems he had to face in his car, especially in qualifying. In the race, he didn't have a great start. He lost time behind the both Ferraris, but it's not a bad result still. He should be fine with P2. but I expect him to bounce back massively in Suzuka. Lewis Hamilton finally got his first podium for Ferrari. Congratulations to him. Finally his first podium, and it's finally, because a lot of times he was finishing fourth, but this time he got in a podium. Congratulations to him. And he deserved that podium. I mean, he got that lead when he went past Kimi, and then he was dragged into second place, and then he had that kind of great battle, great fight between him and Leclerc. Even Leclerc enjoyed it, even though Lewis Hamilton won the battle at the end. Great fight, great wheel-to-wheel action between these two, as I said. And Lewis Hamilton finally managed to get third position. Great drive for him. And this season, Lewis Hamilton looks like he's in a better shape. He's in a better condition than last season, because last season was kind of a nightmare season for him. But this season, it looks like he's more locked in, and the more Lewis Hamilton that we all know. So I hope he keeps performing like this, because if he keeps performing like this, and Ferrari, they start to close the gap on Mercedes and improve the car a bit more, then who knows? We for sure we're gonna see him challenge for race wins. So yeah, and we want to see Lewis Hamilton always like being in the near top, because he's a top quality driver with a great record, winning 7 championships. So for a driver like him, he deserves to be fighting for the championship. Leclerc and Ferrari, it was kind of another battle between Ferrari and Mercedes, even though Mercedes won at the end. So yeah, like Mercedes, they look like the best team right now. If you look at the first 2 races and 1 sprint, Mercedes look like they're the best team right now in terms of pace. But obviously Ferrari, and they have a big gap to Ferrari, particularly in qualifying. But Ferrari, they are there. Ferrari are there. They're competing. They are better in race starts. They are there. If they can improve their car a little bit more in the upcoming races, then who knows? They could close that gap, and it could be very, very, very close in terms of the gaps between Mercedes and Ferrari. So yeah. I mean, big Oliver Behrman, another great performance for him. I mean, I think it's only a matter of time when this guy pulls on, goes to a top team, because he's a fantastic driver. He's a quality. Last season he had a great season, particularly second half season, and this season so far he started the season fantastically well. He's had a great start. Yeah, once again another brilliant performance for him, finishing 5th. And the rumors of him going to Ferrari in the future, if he keeps performing like this, there's every chance of him going to Ferrari. That's for sure. Gasly had a good performance, finishing 6th. Liam Lawson 7th, great performance from him. Hajar 8th, 9th, Sainz 10th, Colapinto. Verstappen DNFing in the race as well due to issues in the car. Yeah, it's been a nightmare of a weekend for Max and Red Bull. Absolute disaster. I mean, they've had issues now with Hajar last week, and now this week Max. And Max has had a very tricky start to the season, like crash in Australia, 6th place, a dreadful start in China for the sprint, another dreadful start in race in China, and now the issue that he had to DNF. Like, I know Max Verstappen doesn't like the cars, this kind of cars in these regulations, but at the same time, like, you cannot make like this another, to see Max Verstappen make like back-to-back bad starts in China in the sprint and in the race. It's unusual to see it from Verstappen, no? So, yeah, it was a difficult day for Max Verstappen, and it was a difficult day for McLaren, because they had a double DNS. Lando Norris faced problems in his electrical side of the car, which his car didn't even make it to the grid for the formation lap. Oscar Piastri's car was in the grid before the formation lap, but he also had to be dragged away, and his car had to be dragged to the garage, because he had also similar problems to Lando Norris. So for McLaren to have similar issues both of their cars, not only one car, like both cars, is absolutely, yeah, it's inexcusable. So yeah, very bad day for McLaren. It was. They didn't have any of the cars starting the race, which was embarrassing. And yeah, problems for Red Bull and McLaren, and joy for Mercedes. So guys, thank you. Have a nice day. See you next time, and goodbye.